A very warm welcome everyone. This is a short video from my side to help you for the GDPI happening in next couple of days for 3 colleges. Welingkar, Dalmia and SEIS. Among all the 3 colleges which I mentioned, Welingkar definitely is better than both of them. Now in all 3 colleges, one good part is 70% has been pre-decided by your earlier thing. 50% more or less they have decided on the fact that one of the scores they are accepting. 15% could be an ACADS or your earlier track record, and 5% is your work experience. So the group discussion and PI would be approximately 30% on the final day. It's a still very big 30%. All the 3 colleges have one good thing in common. You hardly will get any stress interview. Also the GDs which happen on the final day, the topic are not very abstract. You get a very normal topic in all of them. Normally a GD will have around 8-10 people, maybe slightly more depending if there are a lot of candidates to be covered on a single day. You'll have 2 or 3 panelists which is going to observe you on the final day. A rough estimate is around 20 odd minutes, with 2 minutes taken time for your thinking and the rest of the time given to you for your GD. Among the 3 panelists, there's a huge probability that one of the panelists can be actually a faculty member of that college. So you need to be very aware that this is the guy you're going to meet him also in the later on future. The GD which can happen right now, which are normal topics which you're looking into, could be something like a GST. It's been a huge debated bill right now, which is more likely getting cleared on the 1st July. Demonetization can be a very big topic also this year. You could be asked about India versus China. This can be a GD topic for this year. These are more or less expected on the final days. In a GD, there are 8-10 candidates on the final day. Normally the procedures, the opening speaker should only introduce the topic. He should be telling what exactly is demonetization. He may come back later saying whether it's for the topic or against the topic. Remember, you can be actually neutral in the topic also. But the opening speaker, the onus rests on him that he has to introduce it. One big advantage, he gets around 90 seconds freeway because nobody knows what he's going to talk. So he does get an advantage. Disadvantage, if he talks something rubbish, he's the first person to be thrown out. But still take the leadership quality, go for first or second speaker. You can come back later telling whether you are against or for the topic. Now the speaker which starts, after he's done, the first speaker will come in and he'll be talking. Remember, there's nothing like people have decided that okay, you speak and then second speaker will come. It's a very randomly generated thing. In case you feel your GD is going off track, you need to take the ownership or the onus that okay, let's come back guys to the normal discussion. Most of the time GDs happen as a fresh market. You do have an advantage and you can allow people coming in and speaking. You can agree with somebody's point of view, saying I agree with this guy, but I think my point also has a validity. So you can take stances in it. In case you have been asked to summarize, you need to summarize what has happened in the GD. Be very careful when you're summarizing. Just because you got lucky to get summarized, don't talk things which didn't happen in the GD. You're particularly sustaining what exactly the discussion was in the 15 or 20 minutes allotted to you. A couple of absolutely don'ts is your hand gestures. You cannot use stop signals like this or stopping somebody or asking, okay fine, why don't you join in? The hand gestures are virtually nowhere on the final. Okay. Once you're done with GD, there's a huge possibility that you'll have a PI also on a similar day. Now the personal interview, there are a couple of questions which are always expected. Why MBA? Typically an engineering student will always face it. I faced it 2 decades back, so I don't see a lot of changes happening for you guys also. Why MBA is a freeway for you. You need to tell why you thought of this topic. Second, in case you're a final year student, you can definitely be asked questions based on the fact, okay, what are your current topics or subjects? Now, if you're economic related student, so definitely some question will come from it. If you have somebody from a BAF or BMS, you expected that you'll have some financial knowledge. Make it sure when you are appearing for the interview, you have checked out the euro rate, dollar rate, pound rate before you're entering on that day. If you're an engineering student, you could be asked question based on your final year project. These are definitely questions on that day. If they give you a lucky question, tell me something about yourself, this is fantastic. This is your best advantage. You talk something which has happened in your earlier schooling days. In case your track record is good, please mention it. In case not good, that's still okay. Any achievements you have done in your earlier days should be mentioned in that part. Then you'll come to your college and then the engineering college or whichever college you are coming. You can talk about your family life also. You can talk about hobbies also. Now this is one question which actually stumbles a lot of people. When people say my hobby is reading books, reading books can be a variety of things. So when you say reading books, mention whether it's fiction, non-fiction, management related or whatever. Keep in mind you have filled up one CV or some details before you have filled up or submitted the form. You need to scrutinize each and everything whatever you fill up the form. Your strengths, weaknesses will be cross-questioned to you. In case you say your strength is hard work, but your track record doesn't support it, it is actually a contradiction for you. So don't mention that as your strength. Obviously, you can mention a couple of strengths which are not related to hard work. It could be teamwork, it could be getting along with people, good communication skills, whatever you feel like it. And remember the PI, the person who's trying to select you or taking your interview, is more interested in getting you in. So don't always have a fear that he's going to take a stress interview or you're going to take a speech. In fact, he's in having a major responsibility to getting a right person for his own build to be. Okay. You could be asked everything under the sun, whatever you've written. So make it sure you scrutinize the entire thing properly. In case you're carrying a folder or something, keep in mind it should be kept in a very chronological order. Your TY should be earlier, followed by a 12 standard, followed by 10 standard. Always keep a photocopy of it. In case the examiner is interested, you can show him any certificate which you have. Any extracurricular you have in the college days or from the 9th grade you can carry. In case the examiner wants to see, you have an authentic proof of it. The folders which you carry for a guideline normally should be a black or brown. You cannot have very pinkish type of a color for a guy student. Because obviously you'll have more flexibility coming to you. You'll be ideally wearing a formals. The best formals is wearing a white shirt with the tan trousers. But remember, if you're wearing a tan trousers, your shoes should be actually tan or brown. However, if you're wearing a white shirt with any other color trousers, then the black shoes goes in. That's the best part. Please carry a tie. It might be very summer, but make it sure you are wearing it. It doesn't matter if other people are not wearing it. You should look pretty. Okay. Same will go for the girls. You can wear a western or Indian formals. You are allowed both of the flexibility on the final day. When you enter the PI, make a short knock. The knock should not be very heavy. Neither should be so light that you can't hear it. Once you enter the panel, have some distance between you and this. Unless offered, do not take the seat. However, if the examiner starts asking you a question, you're still standing, you can ask him a very polite question, sir, may I have a seat? And then you can be seated. Remember, it's absolutely no to shake hands with the examiner. You can't do that unless the panelist himself is offering you. Once you started, keep it sure your folder is on the lap. The table belongs to the examiner. There's obviously a glass of water kept for you. So in case you're feeling thirsty, you can always have it. That is not an issue, and that is also not the way he may not select you. Then the questions come. In case you're not very clear about the question which has been asked to you, you can tell the panelist, sir, I'm sorry, I'm not able to interpret it. So can you phrase in a different way? However, if you once start answering and then you ask him a question, so what were you answering earlier? So that will go against you. It is not mandatory that you know each and every question on the final day. However, 7 to 8 you should be knowing. You should be aware currently of entire parts, whichever state you are coming in, you should be aware of that. You should be aware of council ministers of yours. You should be aware of current rates of dollar, euro, bond. In case you are a finance student, you could be asked questions based on stock market, derivatives, equities, something like that. Very general questions on the final day. In case you're mentioning why I want to do an MBA in marketing or finance, be very specific. Now you will be asked questions based on it. Which is the known company of FMCG or which are the marketing companies on the final day. Your hobbies can be asked a lot of questions. In case you are a cricket lover or a sports lover from tennis or football, couple of questions can come into play. Remember, the panelist makes it slightly easy for you to be very generalized. All the 3 colleges are much easier on the final day. So at any stage of the paper or your interview, you'll have no idea whether you've been selected or rejected. Keep a smiling face always. In case you got 3 panelists, the person who asks you a question, 80% of the time you should be facing in and the 20% of the time you should be looking at other person also. Once you get done with the interview, and if the panelist asks you, do you have any questions, please do not ask him how was my interview. He'll never tell you the truth. Ideally, you can ask him, what do I learn in this college, or what is the best part of this. So you can ask a question. It's not mandatory you ask them a question, but you can. After the interview gets done, please thank the panelists on the phone. In case you have any queries, questions, you can mail it to me. My email ID is manojsaigal@gmail.com. Thank you so much and wishing you all the best for your endeavors. God bless.